June, and I really wanted to engage with the region on a very specific thing that is of particular and unique interest to me, the quality of point-of-care diagnostics and HIV. And we had a meeting in Cambodia just last week. Chong Chicha was there. And so it's so dear and close to my heart, because if we cannot do those simple things right and provide accurate results to the patient, then it defeats the purpose of even talking about an accreditation of that. I mean, I want you to just forget about Thailand for 1 second and think of the other developing countries. Okay, Thailand is a middle-income country. You have been thinking about this for the longest, for the past 20 years or so. But think of the Cambodia, the Laos, the Papua New Guinea, the Burma, and other African countries that you. I mean, so that's where we, as we say, we are not. We are thinking of the notes, the banknotes, but we are more interested in the coins. Okay, how do you organize them and get the so. I thought we had a very successful first meeting in Cambodia. We issued the Phnom Penh statement for the importance of quality of point of care and HIV testing. And the reason I comment on that is that we truly have to continue to, the lab, the association, the council, and other stakeholders, make sure that quality of lab testing is not just seen in terms of an accreditation, but is seen as a continuous process that is important for patient management. I mean, to the extent that we have to also, at least in the PEPFAR world, begin to tweak our language and make sure that we articulate it in terms of continuous quality improvement. They understand that it's an investment, not a cost. Okay, I think if we are successful in our communication strategy, in our ability to build more stakeholders into the lab or diagnostic world, and make sure that they understand that yes, there's cost of doing this, but it's truly not a cost, but it's an investment. It's an opportunity cost of not giving the accurate test results to a patient. I think that would be very, very helpful in maintaining what you have. You build, Thailand has actually built a model that to me is like a global a model for developing countries, to middle-income countries to emulate. And I think you can trust what I'm saying, because a lot of what we've done in PEPFAR over the last 10 years or 12 years has been borrowing from Thailand and implementing in developing. I mean, how many times have you been to Africa too? And I've actually moved, it's been two ways. I mean, when we really started the movement for lab quality in a systematic approach in Africa, you all were in Kigali. That was the start of that. And I think you all were also in Maputo when we did the Maputo declaration on the quality of lab and lab strategies. And since then, you've also been to Ethiopia, and also launched an association in Africa which didn't used to exist. I mean, the Medical Association, the African Society of Lab Medicine. And the reverse has happened also, where people we've encouraged people from Africa, I think Zambia, Ethiopia, and Kenya to come here and learn what you are doing. So, in other words, I'm here this week truly to say thank you to the Medical Technology Council, and thank you to our office in Thailand for really taking on the leadership role and the visionary role for laboratory medicine. And actually hearing to a call that I made on them to extend the expertise that you have to other developing countries. It's so, when you do what I do from Atlanta and Washington, consistently the burden is on your shoulder to provide a vision. And the responsibility and accountability is on your shoulder to show the results and outcome, because they trust you, they agree with you that, okay, good, John, do what you want to do, but you really have to show the results. And the results are there to be shown. I mean, when you all met in Kigali, we all met there and launched the SLAMTA, hardly did we know that it was going to be that successful. Today we have 617 labs enrolled in SLAMTA in 47 countries. And of those 617 labs, about 302 of them have completed their SLAMTA, 3 SLAMTA projects. And if you look at the 302 labs that have completed the 3 implementation SLAMTA projects, 85% of them had 0 stars when they just started at baseline, 85% of those. But today, after the 3 implementation project, completing the 3 implementation project, only 35% of them have 0 stars. So you've reduced that burden from 85% of labs that with no star to only 35%. Well, that's a significant move, okay. And again, they are not yet accredited, but they are clearly and squarely committed into the journey of continuous quality improvement, which is what I say all the time, that I am more interested in the journey than the destination. Okay, the journey is very, very important. The journey is what I call continuous quality improvement journey. The destination is accreditation. Let's get it right. I mean, not all labs should be accredited, and not all labs should be accredited. But all labs should at least be enrolled in some form of continuous quality improvement. That is the satisfaction and the joy that we are having together in this partnership, that we're borrowing a lot of the concepts from you all. So, I mean, I can see that it's not just advocacy for advocacy. I mean, when we have major events to launch in Africa, we call on you to come drive to push it through for us, because it's always good for people to point to a success story, and I use Thailand all the time as a success story for the things that I do in PEPFAR, and I've been privileged to be the chair of the Lab Technical Work Group in PEPFAR for 12 years now. So I think I really wanted to come here and say thank you for what we are doing, and thank you for your continuous leadership and commitment and innovation. There are so many things that I've taken notes here about. Some of that include the ASEAN Lab Elite Forum or program that you have. I want to see that happen in other countries, because there's power in bringing people together and exciting them and making sure people belong to a community, and that's why your network approach is so important. I think it's probably a big driver into the process, because when people come together, they learn. There's a positive peer pressure on people to do good work, because fundamentally human beings want to do the right thing, but they may not know how to do the right thing until you show them. And if you show them, don't expect that it will happen. When you show them, you have to be consistent and you have to sustain that effort and make sure that they do that. So I think that's what Thailand has done. You've incentivized your program, you've shown recognition to your program and the reward in your program, and because of that, people are following their leadership. So I just wanted to appreciate that and say keep doing that, and we'll be learning from you all the time. And there's a saying that to whom much is given, much is required. We'll still come back to you and ask that you continue to mentor other countries in the region. I mean, the Cambodias, the Vietnams, the Burma, are all countries that we in PEPFAR are very interested to bring them up to where you are. So we'll continue to ask on your help to translate some of these models that you have. I mean, one model that I'm particularly keen to see happen is the relationship between the Medical Council and the association. That is a wonderful model that, I mean, we need to promote that model. I think the next thing that I really truly want to see happen in countries around your region and also in Africa is to promote that model. To have a template where you can actually have a framework that you give to Cambodia, say, hey, this is how you set up a council. This is how you set up an association. And these are the activities that you do in both a council and an association to keep them functioning. Because in most of these countries, they do have the ideas to have that, but it's not functional. Okay, it's not as functional as you have it going on here. So I think that's one ask from you, or how do we partner with you to drive that process as truly a sign of my practical request to Professor Sonchia Sonchia. It's really I will be, the African Society for Lab Medicine that you all were part of, the launch in Addis Ababa, will be hosting their third conference next year, next December in Cape Town, South Africa. And I would like to invite you all to consider organizing a roundtable discussion just around what we discussed this morning here. It was so rewarding to me. I took down a whole page of notes, which I hardly do in any meeting, because I really want to see that happen. A roadmap for how to set up a council that really functions, and a roadmap on how to set up an association and what they do. I think it will be hugely beneficial to the region. What sustain organizations are the activities in the organization. Okay, it's not a building, it's not the wording, but it's an activity. So you all have nailed it down. So I think I'm throwing that out for to you all, an open invitation to you and our CDC colleagues. I'll be telling the leadership that I will need the two of them to be part of that meeting in South Africa. Then we also need to think of the region. What is it that we can truly do with with both of your entities in the region, even picking, especially relying on looking at Cambodia and Burma, which are relatively newer programs that we want to support. So I think my visit here was really truly to thank you all for what we've done for truly a model for a South-South collaboration. I mean, you've supported Vietnam, Cambodia, or Laos, share your experiences there. You've just kind of embraced Africa. I mean, they all look forward to doing what Thailand has done. I mean, and we have seen the movement. It's a whole big movement. Hardly did I think 10 years ago that those things that, how many times did I bother you about translating your standards into English, and then we took that over and whatever. So when I say these things, I say it in a very committed way, because I think it has practical possibilities to impact outcomes in developing countries, not just Africa, but in the Caribbean. Okay, we've taken it to the Caribbean, we've taken it to Central America. I'll be there next month in Panama to continue to promote those concepts. So I think Thailand should be extremely proud of what your efforts have achieved globally in the South-to-South collaboration. And I think I'll end up with a note of saying, still as we did for your paper, I'm happy you put on that paper that you wrote, which I kept pestering you to do it. But another one that I really ask that you consider doing is just write this experience on what Thailand has done, which you already have. I mean, you already have that. I mean, the story you have here. How does the Thai MT Council and Association work together, and what they do, and how you have supported, provided South-to-South TA in developing lab standards in Africa and in your region. I think it will be a very, very good story to write and put in a good journal. I think most of the time when we go to these WHO meetings in Geneva or in Lyon, people talk about things, but they fail to understand that a lot of what the world wants to do is being done already. Thailand is doing that, and is doing that with other countries. I think it's just a textbook example of how a South-South very productive and practical collaboration is. But unless we write it and put it down on paper, nobody will remember that, right? I think it becomes a story. But this is so powerful, so powerful, just to see that your intervention, your inspiration, your leadership and vision, how it has changed and transformed the culture of quality improvement in Africa. It's a reality today, okay? There's no, even if you stop PEPFAR today, they will just do it. I mean, they'll keep doing it in Mozambique, Ethiopia. I mean, you were in Ethiopia they will just do it. There's no stopping, okay? Because we finally changed the mindset, which 10 years ago, it was like, I don't think we can do that. So don't give up in what you are doing. So for us in PEPFAR, just to conclude, we are very committed to working and supporting the government of course, Thailand in the area of continuous quality improvement. We would live with the reality of what we are going through in PEPFAR, which means the funding, of course, is decreasing, but the centrality and the core to our program response is laboratory diagnostics. Without laboratory diagnostics will never meet the first 90, never meet the second 90, and the last 90. So it's so central to what we do, and we'll continue to partner with you, work with you in any ways that we see possible. And I'll be advocating that during my stay here with the leadership of PEPFAR. But just to be sure that we know that the way we phrase it and communicate the lab activities is so important. In Africa, I've stopped using the word accreditation. I focus more on continuous quality improvement. Okay. Nobody rejects that, because when you say accreditation, the people say, oh, you have to stop the accreditation process. Well, you are telling me that I have to stop quality improvement, so which you cannot. So, but it's all a question of understanding. Okay, you can still do your accreditation, but don't really focus on the destination. Focus on the journey. That is what I want to, the message I want to put across to you. Talk of continuous quality improvement. Second, we have to gather data that supports patient outcomes in terms of, yes, if we improve quality, what really happens? And we are beginning to gather that way. We showed about two data points that I show all the time. One, just for the molecular labs, the labs doing viral load across the world, because we do the PT program, where we show that if the labs that are continuously involved in the PT program have a good improvement over time. I think that is wonderful. I mean, nice evidence. Those are the kind of data that a country like Thailand, probably you are sitting on it, but you should put it out there in journals like this and others, so that the policymakers, the clinicians say, ah, yeah, so the PT program, the continuous quality improvement is not just another academic exercise, but it's real. So that is one thing. The second thing is the rapid testing. We just talked about rapid testing here. We also show that, at least in areas that we do extensive rapid testing, that as you enroll the sites in PT program, the error rates at the testing sites decline. Okay, they start off like 10%, and after about 7 rounds of a PT program, we end up at 1.5%. That is really, I mean, really, nice graphs showing that. So that is powerful, really, really powerful data. So in other words, the reason I was asking the question about customer satisfaction and the behavior of clinicians is that we need to build more stakeholders into the lab medicine profession. For so long, our conversations are within the lab, but I've changed my strategy. In Atlanta, I hardly have a lab meeting without clinicians there. So, I mean, I bring my program people together, I bring the clinicians together, and we all discuss the lab. I never have a serious meeting without the clinicians. If you come to my branch now, you see that I have a clinician as an associate chief. If you look at the org chart, I have a nurse in the branch. I have a behavioral scientist in the branch. So then I have an AP person in the branch. So I mean, so that all of these are different constituencies that they have to carry the message back to their respective constituencies and make sure that the lab or diagnostics are always there, because we cannot say it by ourselves. We cannot continue to champion our own cause by ourselves. It has to be, we have to divide the leadership, give it to the nurses, give it to the clinicians and the program managers to carry our message forward for lab, because we always continue to be the same issues that we face here, the same that we face in Cambodia, that people think of lab like, okay, it's an afterthought and we can get it done with very limited investment. But once the clinicians see value in this and begin to quantify our outputs and impact, they will become the champion. The nurses will become the champion. The patients themselves will become the champion. I think I'm in the process where, because viral load is so high on the agenda list for PEPFAR, I want to create job aids where you empower the patients to understand their viral load results, so that they can actually say, I want my viral load results to be zero copies or below detection, but I want it to be done with quality. Okay, so that the quality is, you want the quality to come from from the bottom up, and whereas we are dragging it from top down, and they really met somewhere. Because if we create a demand for quality at the patient level, and we use viral load as an entry point into that, because viral load, as in the UNAIDS is preaching, we want to get to 90% below detection. But then we say, look, on the first 90, each time you deliver a results to the patient, you say, well, tell me the quality assurance that you did on the test results. What is the quality of it? Then the quality culture continues to disseminate. So that's one key area that I'm interested in, and that's why I've been bothering you all with your volunteers in the community about, because if we develop the volunteer herd, the village herd volunteer program like you have here, and you think of that, tweak a little bit and put lab into it, and you say, well, if these folks are in the community educating, informing the community on the importance of the quality of their results and whatnot, then there's demand for that. Then the patients go to the hospital saying, yes, I like this test result, but tell me about quality assurance about that. So, I mean, a lot to learn again from you. And so I think truly excited to be here and working with you and to be at the MT Council, because it's always been a dream for me to come and see the medical council, and I'm here.
Thanks. พี่ต้องตอบรับ
Thank you so much for your comment. And for us, the first time I work in this area, because of I would like to see the better of the laboratory service in the rural area. I focus on that, but I spend my time on try to encourage the lab staff a lot. But I think partly I have to work with the top administrator, and they can understand the situation and help for the policy and strategy and so on. So I think your comment is very good for us to encourage us to how to make the sustainable quality in our lab system. It's quite good. Not only for the target of the LA success, but for the laboratory service to the people.
Oh, thank you.
Regarding comment from John, we just would like to hear that are there any how can I say policy to support our neighbor provide technical assistance? It would be next step, right? we did something, but I don't know, but it would be great because you know that a lot of them come to work in our country. So,
in fact, we are willing to do that. We try to support every activities that we can do, not only the technical, but for the assessment and so on. We try to support on that. We understand that our neighbor is soon will be in our house, and that we can share our experience.
you know, what I would like to see if the program is initiated by the council or the association yourself, not. I know that you always give a strong support to us, but it would be, how can I say, sustainable if the program is initiated by the council or the association itself. It may be just a new program. And you know, for me, I would like to say this is the good experience for you to share with you, that you strengthen yourself when you support someone. For example, when at the university, when you feel some your friend, right? So your knowledge is more strong. I learn a lot from them. So when we provide TA to them, we also strengthen ourselves. So I would encourage both presidents.
I think I'll let the two presidents speak for themselves, but we are also very interested in how we can support those partnerships through a regional framework, like what we've done in the Caribbean and in Central America and in Africa, where there are three things in the lab, just if you can simplify very complex things, a complex field like the lab into a very, when I go to my hierarchy in my organization to talk to them, I try to make it as simple as possible. I say that you provide lab services, which is the test, and then I argue that secondly, you build the systems to make sure that the tests are delivered right, and then in order that the tests are delivered right and you provide the right services, you build institutions. Okay, you have strong institutions that govern that. So lab services, lab systems, and lab institutions. So I think if you, and they all they all feed into each other, because if you take the United States, for example, the government plays a very limited role in lab medicine in the US. Okay, there are only 3 federal agencies that are involved in the lab. It's the FDA, there's NIH, and CDC. Here. But then the rest of in terms of institutions that govern, drive, and catalyze the lab domain, you have several of them. The one is the Association of Public Health Labs, the APHL, that forms a network of states that they work together. 2 is the American Society for Microbiology. 3 is the American Society for Clinical Pathology. That would be the equivalent of your medical technology, because they certify all lab medtech in the US. 4th is the AACC, which is the American Association for Clinical Chemistry. So, and etc. that I might be missing. So you realize that there are strong institutions that drive, that support, that work with CDC and others to maintain the integrity of lab medicine, given the complexities of lab medicine in the world. I think that is just, we have to link with that. So why do I say this? Strictly from institutional standpoint, there's a lot for Thailand to offer in the region, in those countries where you can really, because what we are discussing here today is institutional strengthening, right? This is building institutions. And if you want the lab profession to be sustained for the longest, then you have to you have to attack both areas simultaneously. You look at institutions, the systems, and the services. So there's no point for an association like yours or a council to go to Cambodia and be teaching them how to do a rapid test or what, that's not their role, okay? That is just, but you can teach them how to build their own institutions. And you provide a template on how they should do that, a roadmap of how you should do that. Then you have benchmark them so that they become a network. So it becomes Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Burma. Those 5 countries, you inject that kind of, so their whole thinking and what you've done begins to become a standard practice in those regions. So that's one thing. Then underneath that is the system piece. The system piece that we begin to think through creative ways to implement continuous quality improvement. These are systems. You are building systems in there. But the system will not function if there is no council, right? To begin to govern how they are created, their continuous quality improvement will work. So equipment maintenance, as we just discussed, and those are all systems that you have in place. So then it finally boils down to the test itself, because once you have an individual, what is the test result? A test result is just the outcome of an individual sitting in front of a bench or on top of the bench and doing the things rightly to give the right results. That's the results of a test. That is the test, whether it's rapid test, quality assurance, rapid test, Valaload, or PCR, is one individual. But for this individual to do it right, this individual is governed by many things. Respect for the profession, the ethics of the profession and the rules and regulations that govern the profession. In other words, the individual would have to say that I can't use this incubator to incubate this because it's not been certified, and because the medical council has not certified it. Okay, and I can't use this test because it's expired, because the rules set up by the council or the association says I cannot do that. So I just wanted to show the relationship between just doing the test result and having a good system in place and having a good institution in place. So I mean, we may do that. Unfortunately, the institution part takes a long time for you to get the results because it's a slow process. It's a change in culture, change of behavior, but we have to start doing it. The piece that gives you the results quickly is the services. You buy a test, maybe a PMA for CD4 or a rapid test for syphilis, and you use it. People see the results immediately, but to get the accurate results and sustain that, you need all these other pieces there. So I think let's think about our collaboration and the regional approach in terms of what kind of institutional strengthening can both of the association really help in the region, and we can also look at from our side, from the PEPFAR side, and say what can we do to look for the regional resources to make that approach happen and bring in to the WHO, and just similar to the meeting we had in Cambodia.
Thank you. That's good.
Yeah, thank you. So that is one part that we would like to do so, because we try to, like Vietnam, we try to strengthen, we try to encourage them to establish their own association of medical technologies, and they come to study, visit here, and they plan to invite us to help them to establish that is another. It's quite challenging, but it's one of the very important that you spread this out, because this is one key thing that we can continue to discuss, that how MT Council and also MTT in Thailand can help support laboratory institution in the region, because we have to go together. This is the AEC coming this year, right? The end of this year. So that's thank you is a perfect point that we need to continue to strengthen the institution, because this is what we rely on you. So that's why we work with you, because you are the one that can help to set up the program, to make the program sustain. Thank you.
Thank you for John. Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณนะครับ
ขอบคุณเจ้าค่ะ
ยืนตรงขนาดนี้เลยไหมครับ
นั่งสูงไหม
ได้ครับได้ครับ
นั่งสูง
อ๋อจะให้เห็นนี่โอเคค่ะ
ได้ครับอาจารย์ยืนข้างเลยเนาะตรงหลังของผมนิดนึงครับเอาไม่ได้ครับแค่อาจารย์ปรับนี้ยืนชิดกันขึ้นมานิดนึงก็ได้แล้วนะครับภาพหนึ่งนะครับ1 2 3 1 2 3ขออนุญาตทำได้แค่อาจารย์สมชายเดียวนิดนึงนะครับ
ได้
วันนี้นะครับ1 2 3 1 2 3 Okay, everybody show me thumb up. Okay, 1 2
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
ขอบคุณมาก